Welcome to the Nick Hall Comedy Podcast. I stole that first line from a Jimmy Fallon sketch. You're welcome. I'm your host, Nick Hall. I pretty much know everything. To the right of me, Josh Griffey.
Who actually knows everything.
Pretty much knows nothing. And to the left of me, Heath Benfield, the producer, who has a fair amount of knowledge on most subjects.
I'm just here to agree that you know everything.
I'd say. I really sometimes feel like I do know everything.
We know.
Which is...
We all know. We've met you.
It's accurate. I'd say that's accurate.
You're like the Richard Sherman of knowledge.
Yes.
He's number one. Don't mess with him, bro.
The world's greatest. All right, let's get started, y'all. We got a big week this week. We got a new sketch coming out.
Yep.
About breaking up. Pretty excited about this one.
It's a double entendre.
It is a double entendre. And probably because the reason why it's so clever is obviously because I wrote it.
The Richard Sherman of writing. Number one, don't talk about him. Don't fucking test him.
Don't talk about me. Don't say it. I'm talking about my writing, fool.
Who's talking about you?
That's a terrible... I'm the greatest. I wish you were Aaron Andrews right now. We would not be doing a podcast.
I feel like as soon as I was standing next to Aaron Andrews, like all that anger would just stop, and I'd be like, "Hey, what up, girl?" Like, you know what I mean? Like, "Hey, did you see that play I made? Want to go back to my room and bump fuzz?" Like that would be my first thought.
She really is just a looker.
Bump fuzz.
Well, you saw the peephole video, right?
Oh, duh.
Guys, look it up. Aaron Andrews naked hotel room. You won't be sorry.
Oh,
I may or may not have been involved in putting that in her door. Just saying.
We're going to go with may not, in case any officers of the law are watching. But, yeah, back to the sketch, the breaking up. I had a question. What would you say the worst breakup you ever had was?
I've actually never broken up with anyone.
You've never have you ever been broken up with?
Kind of. It's not like that I haven't, but I'm like the ultra cowardly guy in the relationship where I'm like, oh man, I can't break up with this chick. You know, because you never know, like, for fear that she goes on and, like, betters herself to get revenge on me and becomes Aaron Andrews. And yeah. I'm just left like, oh, I blew it. So I always do the very clever, almost like the House of Cards setup where, like, I trick them into breaking up with me and thinking that they thought of it.
Oh, yeah.
So I've done that a couple times, and I'm not necessarily proud of it, but I am the Richard Sherman of making chicks break up with me. Number one, don't mess with me. So, yeah, technically I've had the fallout of that decision. Right? Like people getting very mad at me because I essentially bamboozled them with a clever ruse, and they're not still dating me, which is really what I think they're most mad about.
She was like, I love you, Josh. You're like, do you?
Yeah. Do you love me?
Then,
do you?
Next thing you know, breakup. What about you, Heath? Any bad breakups?
Gosh, if I have had a bad breakup, I think I've exorcised it from my memory. I don't know.
You don't use it to make you stronger?
I got nothing.
Look at the guy, man.
Heath's
Ladies,
perfect.
Would you break up with this? No. I don't know that I would.
Look at him.
When you have a thing like this going on,
this
it's the only reason I grew the hair and the beard and wear the Newsies hat is to try to keep women at arm's length.
Well, I usually try to avoid getting involved.
I'm married.
Yeah, altogether. It's too much. It's because there is that fear of the bad breakup.
Oh yeah.
Might as well avoid it.
I'm the worst at it. I hate breaking up.
Do you break up or do you try to trick them into breaking up?
What usually ends up really happening is I say I'm going to break up. I brag to my friends that I'm going to break up, and then I stay with her for another year until something really terrible happens, and then it just becomes like a mutual breakup at that point.
See, I thought you were going to go the other way where you were like, yeah, I write it on a note, like, with the box check, yes or no, like, will you break up with me, and have your friends deliver it in study hall? Like, that's what I thought.
The worst one was I had a girlfriend who was cheating on me.
We all have, yeah.
And
that's how those breakups go usually.
Yeah, and I found out where she was going to be with this guy. It was this bar. It was like 2 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
And I had my sweats on. It was a work night. So I just rolled down to the bar, and I was like, this is it, Nick. You're going to fucking do this.
Wait, do what? Threesome?
I know. I'm going to break up with her and be a man and not be a pussy. So I got to the bar, and I'm in my sweats and I'm in my car, and I started thinking about, like those movie scenes that you see where somebody like busts into the bar and the jukebox skips.
Yeah.
And everybody's like fucking, oh my God, this guy's about to do something awesome.
Yeah, I have a lot of
And
those
he
moments in my life. I
gives
love
this
them.
huge, glorious speech, and everybody's like claps for him. Like I was just about to have this moment, and I walked in and I saw her sitting there with a guy, and the only thing that came out of my mouth was, "This isn't where you sleep." Like I just pointed at her and I said, "This isn't where you sleep."
What is that?
I don't know, and I walked out of the bar. And the jukebox, I think, got louder. It didn't skip.
Right.
They turned to like, get this fucking guy out of here. He's gonna kill somebody.
That sounds like a Jim Harbaugh post-game quote.
It was like,
Is that a quote?
It doesn't even make sense.
Oh,
this
the
isn't
worst.
where you sleep. Like, was she a heavy alcoholic?
No,
Like, what are you?
no.
This is a bar, damn it.
Yeah, it made
respect
no
the bar.
sense. And then the whole like phone call war happened, and I was like, I'd break up with you. And then the next day, I was making out with her in my closet.
In the closet?
Yeah, because she was getting her
And then when you
shit out of
finished,
my apartment, and I was like, don't leave.
when you finished, you pulled away, wiped your mouth, and said, "This is also not where you sleep."
Right? I mean, it's just terrible. I mean, in that moment, I definitely was not Richard Sherman. I
You were
was
not?
the greatest.
Well, you should have been like me and bamboozled her. You get her to do the dirty work, then you have all the upper ground in hand. Because then when she comes back to you, like, wait, why did we break up? And be like, Psh, you tell me, I'm heartbroken. Like, I'm still out. Like, I'm done forever.
Bitch, I still love you. That's how it always ends up. Like, whenever I break up, it ends with "I still love you."
Oh, you dropped the love.
Oh
bomb.
yeah,
Is that for extra sting or?
No, it's because I'm a pussy, Griffey.
Well, I know. I mean, I'm friends with you. I'm
Now-
trying to get into your head for the listeners.
After the breakup, do you put the cryptic sad bastard Facebook statuses up?
No, I don't do that. One time I did that when I broke up with a girl, and all I did was put Bob Dylan music lyrics up for like a week. And then I was like,
The original emo.
Well, I'm a loser.
He was Dashboard Confessional before it was cool to be Dashboard Confessional.
He really was. But no.
Screaming infidelities.
Yeah. Sometimes I do like the passive aggressive thing, where I put just mean stuff that doesn't look that mean.
Make her really regret.
Well, most of my ex-girlfriends were kind of dumb, so like I could put coded stuff up and they would be like, "Oh, I wonder what Nick's talking about," because they're stupid.
Do they talk like that? Is that your?
Most of them did.
They say a man has a type. Nick sounds like Helen Keller.
Yes.
I miss Nick.
I miss you, Nick.
Girls,
Why you if you're been- listening,
I'll always love you.
Oh my God. This is not starting out in a Richard Sherman sort
I'm
of
feeling
way.
strong though. I'm feeling good.
I do feel strong.
I feel strong.
How? By the way, what's everybody's take on this Richard Sherman stuff? Like, are you upset about it? Did you think it was funny? There's
Loved
Twitter. He broke Twitter last night.
Yeah, he broke it.
I mean, Twitter is broken for at least 24 more hours.
Oh, it's greatness. I mean, come on, look at these. They're gladiators. You know what I mean? It was a total pro wrestling post game.
Oh God!
But we need more in that in all of our sports, right?
Yeah.
Because this is what I was noticing when I was watching the first game, right? The Broncos Pats, and they're doing these interviews with Tom Brady and Manning, right? And they might as well just be like jerking each other real nice, like under the table, like he's great, and then they're like, "But don't wait, I'm gonna compete." Richard Sherman just comes out and is straight like gangsta on it, like hell no, like he's a when he did his post game with the bow tie, and he's like, "I just wanted everyone to remember mediocre receiver." I was like, this is the greatest thing I've ever heard. Now, my only beef with Sherman is that he came out so hard and was so awesome, and I loved it.
It was kind of a letdown afterward. It was kind
it's
of
a
like
letdown that now he's backtracking. Like now he feels bad,
Yeah.
right? Because now like he's like hiding behind the like I don't want to be a bad guy. Michael Crabtree started a fight with me over the summer. That's why I was so mad. And then even like this racism thing, like I was reading a lot of the shit that people were tweeting him, right? And yeah, it's like it's really racist, but like you can't be the guy that goes out of your way to like antagonize everyone, right? And then be shocked when you get these negative responses. Like, just own it, Sherman. Like, why wouldn't you want to be the number one villain in pro sports? Like, if I'm Sherman, that's who I want to be. Like, that's his deal, right?
Did you make any racist tweets?
Not under my own Twitter.
well, Twitter
I have side Twitters for anything racist, sexist, prejudice, I want to say.
Well, it's essentially for hipsters and racists, which aren't exactly mutually exclusive.
Ooh.
So that's
See, I'm more of the voyeuristic tweeter. Like I kind of read everyone else's, but I'm always afraid to get in on the Twitter beefs myself. Like it's too time consuming. I don't have the energy for it.
Yeah. See, I have
You're no Shia LaBeouf.
I have a lot of followers.
That's what I do. I'm the Shia LaBeouf. I actually have a handle called Shia LaBeouf where I just steal other people's tweets and put them up, and it's the best.
Well, I have a bunch of my Twitter followers hate me, and so every time I tweet something, they just send really mean shit, and I always just say thank you.
Yeah, word. Thanks for making me a better Twitter.
They're like, Nick, you're a fucking loser. I'm like, thank you. And they're like, you have no backbone, bro. Like, don't I?
Don't I? See, there you go. You always flip it on them with a question.
I just try to kill them with kindness. Like,
I love the people on Twitter, right, that are like,
is that hipster?
What are you going to do, pussy? And then you're like, what am I going to do? Am I going to punch you through your internet? Like, I don't know where your basement is that you live in. Like, what the fuck am I supposed to do about this?
I'm going to make a badass gif of you being a fucking loser and spread it around the internet because I'm awesome.
What'd you think about Sherman? Did you love it?
I didn't. My initial reaction was like, well, this guy's a douchebag. I wasn't mad at him. Like, whatever. It's not like he was just cussing and...
He was amped. He just made the biggest play of the game.
Yeah.
It was an incredible play, too, by the way. Like one of the finest plays I've seen all
year. It was
year.
a pretty good play.
If he doesn't make that play, San Francisco is going to the Super Bowl and not Seattle.
Well, the ball was underthrown by like 5 yards, first of all.
Well, I mean, you can only play the ball that's thrown. Like, he's not throwing the ball, too.
But
like he made as good of a play as you can make on that specific ball.
Did he?
Yeah, he did.
Well, okay.
He did, absolutely. Okay. See, I just Jedi mind power right through your tricks.
I really wanted that one to work. Yeah, I don't know. She just asked him, like, what'd you think of the game? And he's like, I'm the greatest. He was, right? Well, I wasn't. He didn't lube me up or anything. He just went straight for the yelling, I'm the great. Like, ease your way into that, Richard.
You need to
No, Sherman, I'm with you. No lube, no protection. I just wanted to
break down the play first and then scream that
we have a whole culture of, like, all week, that's all we're going to see for, like, 4 days now is breakdowns of the plays and this and that. And these scripted, terrible responses. Like, I like it when Sherman loses it, right? Like, I like it when Harbaugh loses it. Like,
I love when Harbaugh loses it. These are the moments,
like, to me, it's like, I can never see another, like, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Belichick press conference for the rest of my life and be fine, because they don't say anything.
Yeah.
Like, even when we were watching halftime shows yesterday, right? You're like, why do I even watch the halftime show? Because it really is like a Mad Lib. It's like, everyone is the same script, and it's like, pick a noun. And they just pick a player name or an adjective or whatever. It's like, there's no value to it at all until someone like Sherman gives us something real.
I love intensity. If I had it my way, the NFL would evolve into just Jim Harbaugh and Jim Schwartz in a full-on wrestling match at midfield before every game.
Just the knee-high boots and the spandex.
Every game, Harbaugh and Schwartz have a wrestling match. Schwartz walks out, chucks his headset down. Harbaugh starts that hyperventilation breathing that he does all the time, where he's just so
spit
intense.
Coming out of the side of
and
the
then they both just...
He gets in like a sumo crouch.
They both just take their shirts off and start fucking fighting.
Both wearing their mom pants.
Oh, God, yeah.
You know what, though? Jim Schwartz is going to need something to do. He might be down for this employment plan.
I would love it. They were calling Harbaugh the Wolf of Walmart because of his khaki pants.
And he also has those like kind of like 80-year-old grandma glasses that you see in gas stations. They're like pre-made prescriptions. You're like, who the fuck buys these? Jim Harbaugh. That's who buys them.
Jim fucking Harbaugh.
I love the cutbacks too, because it's like, all right, what led to Harbaugh having to don the non-prescription Walmart glasses?
Well, I'm always assuming it's wait, who put that running back in at quarterback? Oh shit, I did. Is that who's that tattooed running back not playing QB? It's like, oh fuck, I did that. My fault.
Don't throw the ball, Colin. Run it.
Well, what is it? He had like 5 throws in the first half. I'm like, at a point, don't we have to, call it as it is? Like, can we keep giving him the benefit of the doubt when he's essentially just a better running Tim Tebow?
Pretty much.
I mean,
no, he really is.
Let's be real. Like, when you're only throwing it 5 plays a half, like, that's not quarterbacking.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, he had a huge amount of yards, total offense, right? But it's like, we killed Tim Tebow, and it's like, yeah, I get it. Tim Tebow could barely run and really couldn't throw. But that's what I mean. Kaepernick is just a better iteration of that. Like, why is everyone like, oh, he's the next breed? I'm like, no, he's not. He's the next guy who's going to be replaced within like 3 seasons, and he'll never fucking start again.
Tebow might have been able to throw, but by the time he actually like cocked the ball back and released it, the quarter was over.
Right.
It took him forever.
Well, it's hard to fucking start here and then say an entire prayer for every ball you have to throw. It's very distracting.
He really did. It was like 4 Hail Marys before he actually threw the Hail Mary. You know what I mean?
Hey, don't get me wrong, dude. I love that Tebow got crushed and failed in life. It makes me very happy. I mean, it's just one of those things. Like, for a guy who prays that much, to have it all go so wrong so fast, I'm just like, I feel like it validates a lot of my opinions.
Yeah.
That's fine. But I'm saying Tim Tebow did not deserve to get so railroaded when Colin Kaepernick gets away with this all the time.
True.
I think you're looking at it from the wrong angle. I mean, he threw a couple good passes.
A couple.
But I mean, that's the thing.
So did I last year.
You know who else has done that? Peyton Manning in playoff losses, and he gets crushed sometimes. Like, when you're the quarterback, you have extra pressure and extra weight and extra responsibility.
But in this game, it's not Colin Kaepernick's misgivings. It's the amazing, greatest play of Richard Sherman that's preventing him from even thinking about throwing the ball downfield.
Mother of God.
So you're saying that Richard Sherman went back like a looper, and he for years has been teaching Kaepernick how to not throw, and that this is just the payoff, right?
Yeah.
This is the ending scene.
Yeah, Richard Sherman is so great that he's like, from that game, he's retroactively fit himself into Colin Kaepernick's past subconscious. If that,
I don't know much about science, but I
totally
think that's correct.
I know a lot about science. See, it sounds right.
I think
sounds
that
right.
sounds
rock solid.
correct.
I don't know. Yeah, the Kaepernick thing drives, but even Russell Wilson, like last night they kept doing this is the new breed of NFL quarterback. And I was like, you literally had on display last night, like the 2 perfect examples, right? Like 2 old style quarterbacks, Manning and Brady, 2 of the best of all time. And then you see these 2 new kids and you're like, this is not the new thing. Like, this isn't going to work, right? Like, the level of Manning and Brady, like actual pocket passers, well prepared. They don't panic. They don't scramble to like try to save their lives. Like, they're never going to be not in the NFL. Like, those guys will always be the most valuable
That sounds racist.
quarterbacks. What?
I'm just saying.
Russell Wilson's half white, I think. So just saying.
I just wanted to throw
No, it
out
doesn't
there.
sound racist. Tim Tebow was white. Tim Tebow is white. Boom, I win. That is
He
science.
does win, is he?
I'm the number 1 of not being racist, like Richard Sherman.
Say it to the camera. The greatest.
Yeah.
The greatest.
No, I don't think
tolerant-
it's racist. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not my fault they can't throw a ball. Like, I don't know who fucking...
Russell Wilson.
A quarterback who can't throw the ball,
Russell
it doesn't
can throw the
matter
ball.
what color you are. Like, Tim Tebow, Kaepernick, Russell Wilson. Like, if you cannot actually play quarterback, I don't care. Like, I don't want to know, like, your skill competition. Like, can you sit on one knee and throw a football into a trash can? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter to me. Like, congratulations. That to me is the same thing as like playing beer pong. Like, who cares?
Heath
Probably
and I-
less impressive than beer
Heath
pong.
and I go out in one knee trash can
One-knee
throws.
trash can throws.
All the time. Heath's really good at it.
X Games.
Russell can throw though. He just
And Kaepernick can throw when he does, but to
can
me,
he?
it's not the actual mechanics of the throwing that's the
Anyway.
problem. It's can you throw in the moment of being a quarterback,
I think-
in the pocket with the pressure, read the defense.
sure.
That's where the problem
I
is.
think the real atrocity last night. Atrocity, I should say.
Besides the way you pronounce that word.
Yeah, I really did just butcher that word. But the real atrocity, if you will, was Ann Wilson from Heart last night singing the national.
it.
Oh my God,
Missed it.
Lucky. Holy shit. Well, I won't get into it much. But,
Age has not been kind to her.
It sounded like Roseanne's national anthem and Carl Lewis's national anthem had a baby.
Nice.
And that they let it sing. It was horrible. And then her defense was like, "Well, I gave it a Barracuda twist." Like, bitch, that song's like 35 years old. Nobody wants to hear it anymore regular, let alone fucking remixed with the national anthem.
Don't get me wrong. Huge lover of the Heart. Great, awesome band.
No.
What? Dude, Heart slays. That's neither here nor there. You guys know that Heart slays.
The Heart slays.
This is what I'm saying, though, is like, what? Like, why do we not just have, like, people who, like, aren't old and decrepit and, like, riddled with, like, years of bad lifestyle? Like, where are the people that can, like, what about when, like, they bring out the military guys that are, like, in, like, singing corps, and they do these very nice but kind of, I guess it's kind of cheesy, but these very nice, like, a cappella, like, national anthems, like, let's just skip past this nonsense of like, you know what we need in our national anthem? Rock and roll. Like, never the case.
No one has ever said Heart slays. You're the first.
I would be shocked if there are not a ton of people that think Heart slays.
Heart's awesome.
People have said Heart's awesome. Heart's pretty kick-ass. Nobody's ever been like, dude, fucking Heart slaves.
I disagree.
If you've never been fucking half a bottle in and just you hear that and you're not immediately like, I'm slain. I'm defeated. I'm defeated by rock and roll. Like, if you're not that person, then you have no heart. That's why you can't like the band. It's impossible.
I'm slayed right now.
Yeah.
They are slaying me. No.
Yeah.
Like, when I listen to Heart, I'm just like, cool.
Soulless.
No.
Heart is the Richard Sherman of rock and roll. Number one best.
Well, after she got done singing it last night, she dropped the mic and was like, I'm the greatest mother... She didn't.
And then the stage broke. It's like, no.
Apparently, Bananarama had said something about them before the game. And she's like, don't talk about me.
Yeah, Bananarama is definitely on the level to question Heart.
And then she ripped the national anthem and clearly proved her not. It was one of the greatest plays of the game.
To me, there are moments to inject things with rock and roll to make them better, and then there's just nonsense. Like, national anthem, maybe not where we want to, like, let our hair down and, headbang and get loose. Like, let's just get it over with and
Doesn't
get to the
need
game.
the Barracuda twist.
No.
All right. Picks for the Super Bowl before we move on. Who you got?
Man, I got to go Broncos. But I think it's going to be a really close game. I don't think it's going to be this, like, blowout. I think it's going to come down to, like, the last couple minutes.
I don't know if I can bet against Richard Sherman on the game. Now,
if Richard Sherman was playing every position,
Spoken like a true asshole.
I would vote for the Seahawks if Sherman was every position.
I'm going with Manning. I'm going with.
Of course.
I can't.
Of course.
I have to. He's the GOAT.
Who is Sherman going to cover? Demaryius Thomas?
Yeah.
Is that probably...
See, this is the problem, is that the Broncos are so vastly superior to them on offense, and the Seahawks are vastly superior on defense. So it's a very old school type of, matchup. But to me, it's like in the new NFL, you always lean offense, right? Like, it's not a defense wins championships anymore. I don't buy that at all. Like, the Broncos are just one of the most high-octane offenses I've ever seen.
Of all time in the regular season.
Absolutely. And I don't see how Seattle, especially the way they've been playing recently, I don't see how that offense keeps step.
Right.
I just don't see it.
Okay. I'm going to bring this up real quick because I'm a huge Pacers fan and we don't get press like this very often.
We've just invented media to talk about the Pacers.
Did you see the Paul George dunk this weekend?
Legit.
Heath?
Nasty.
It was a great dunk.
Is
NBA
it
Jam.
the best in-game dunk you've ever seen? That's going around the internet
No.
right now. Not the best dunk ever. I'm not talking about dunk contests.
I grew up with Dominique Wilkins and Sean Kemp. Like, those guys threw some amazing dunks down. Plus, I'm always a much bigger fan of the dunk, like, in someone's face, right?
Yeah, I do.
Like that always
like the
gets me
DeAndre
way...
Jordan last
oh,
year
yeah.
when
DeAndre Jordan's last year is way more exciting clip. Like,
Yeah.
Paul George's dunk was awesome. But to me, like you said, it's a dunk contest dunk because it's not contested,
nuts right in
open
the
court.
face.
Oh, yeah, he put his nuts
I mean, these
right on
guys
that
could
guy's
probably
face.
all dunk like 12, 13-foot rims if they like really tried.
Yeah.
So it's like, to me, it's not like LeBron looks like he can like set his chin on the rim every time he goes up for a dunk.
Yeah, he can.
So it's a little less impressive. I mean, it's still an awesome dunk and it's a great clip and it brought the house down.
But it's absolutely unnecessary.
Right.
The
Like,
criticism
this is what I
against
mean.
it,
Like, you
yeah.
see guys try that and then miss it and then they're just like the
Right.
biggest dummy of all time. But I mean, so I give him credit on like difficulty, excitement level. Like, that's what people are paying tickets for. Like,
Right.
So I'm all for it. And they were already winning pretty well, right, by that
They were up
point.
by 20 at the
Right.
end.
So like missing that dunk wasn't going to kill them. Yeah, great. But like with no contestant to like try to stop that, it's like hitting a really good chip shot in golf at
Greatest
that point.
dunk you've ever seen in a game, in a live action NBA basketball game.
I do like the DeAndre Jordan dunk. I mean, that was just boss.
It really
I'm
was.
trying to think.
I bet
before
with
that,
a little bit, like an hour of research, I could find 20 dunks in game I like better than that.
just go to
Ooh,
YouTube right now,
20?
and there's, I'm sure, a great
I'll bet.
compilation.
I fucking hate your opinions.
No, I'm not saying anything bad about Paul George. I'm just saying let's not be quick to be like, hey, that one guy did that one thing. Like, I'm telling you with research. Actually, if we have a Facebook page, I will research 20 dunks better.
Okay.
With links.
Okay.
Than that dunk. And it's a fucking great dunk. Like,
we're gonna have a Facebook page, bro.
Don't take it as I'm shitting upon the Pacers. Like, great game. Love the team. All that's awesome. I don't even know that it's the best dunk I've seen all
Will the
season.
Pacers win the championship this year? Do you believe in them?
No. I still don't see them getting past the Heat.
What?
Why?
I just think the Heat have the daddy complex. Like, the game we watched earlier
What's
in the
the
season,
daddy
there was just
complex?
this thing where, like, the Pacers dominated that whole game, and then all of a sudden the Heat just said, oh yeah, we're going to win this. And the Pacers just couldn't deliver, and they couldn't finish. And I think that the Heat play free, and I think the Pacers have this like little thing that eats at them. Like, we got to fucking beat the Heat. We got to. And I think it messes with them a little.
But so did the Colts until they beat the Patriots with home field advantage.
If any team is going to beat the Heat in the entire league, I think it's got to be the Pacers. Like, I'll give you that. I don't see it myself. Home court will be a big importance in that, you know. Maybe it'll be the
Maybe you should get new glasses if you can't see that.
Hey, Harbaugh, you got any I can borrow?
Yeah, shit.
Stevenson is playing way better than he ever has.
He's a freak.
Everybody's gelling at the same time.
Gelling.
So it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And how deep is the Heat's bench? I mean,
I think honestly their bench is fantastic. I think it's their most underrated value. I think they have so many guys that do so many things well on that bench. I really do.
Like Ray Allen's supposed to shoot.
Their bench is just loaded with great three-point shooters.
Do they still have Juwan Howard?
Probably. Someone does.
Juwan Howard just rips off the suit, you know.
Well, they when they went to the White House or whatever, they gave that.
Juwan Howard actually works for them now as the water bottle guy.
Well, no, they gave the replica trophy to Obama, and it had all the names, and fucking Juwan Howard got top billing on it. He had the biggest name.
He should.
That dude wore a uniform every game last year and didn't touch the floor. Well, like they didn't.
You think it was the same
They
one?
didn't even let him warm up. Like he'd go out to start shooting. Like, Juwan, sit down, you old fuck. He's like, sorry.
Did he wear a uniform? I've never seen him wear a uniform.
He'd walk into the locker room, to take his jersey off and throw it in the dirty laundry. The guy's like, hey man, we got to save some money. Put that back in your locker, no sweat.
Like he would come out of the tunnel with his beats on, like he was about to play, but he was probably listening to like Leif Garrett or something.
Probably listening to Hart actually. That's why I had that intensity face. Like,
it was probably Sugar Hill Gang, if we're being honest with ourselves.
I think Hart slayed them and is now taking their place on everyone's.
We're gonna go with an '80s group, but I don't know. The Heat are not going to beat the Pacers. I bet if the Pacers get home court, I'm gonna make this bet with you right now. Pacers in 5 games over the Heat.
5 games.
5 games with home court advantage.
Wow,
if they get home court.
If Vegas was giving me those odds, I would put a lot of money on that.
I'm saying it now.
All right.
The Pacers are the greatest.
We'll find out.
What'd you say about the Pacers?
Are the Pacers?
Don't talk about the Pacers.
Don't talk about the Pacers.
The Pacers are the greatest.
We just want to say the Heat are mediocre. Repeat, mediocre.
Repeat. In other basketball news, Dennis Rodman has finally checked himself into rehab.
Hate it.
I hate it too.
Hate it.
The guy's on.
Is this his first trip to rehab?
Oh, I doubt it.
No, I don't think so.
I doubt it.
Actually, I have inside knowledge that it's not.
My source is close to me.
My best friend, Sausage Sam, got drunk with Rodman in a bar at Venice Beach, and Rodman said that rehab's easy because you don't have any distractions around. So that implies that he's at least been to rehab once.
I wonder what it was for the other time.
Could you imagine getting drunk with Sausage Sam and Dennis Rodman? I think that'd be the best night of my life of all time.
Well, yeah, how many conspiracy theories did they go through?
Oh, just probably a million. Sam is probably the one that hatched the go to North Korea plan. Like, that was probably Sam's.
We can trace it back.
Sam is a friend of ours who also is on a podcast with Griffey. What did he say the other day when he was like, I want to send all my enemies to space with 45 minutes of air or something?
Yeah, we do a podcast, Booze Buddies. You can hear all of Sam's theories on life. It'll enlighten you, or at least make you feel great about yourself. My best friend.
He's I can't imagine just getting drunk with Rodman, let alone just sprinkling in Sam's just brilliance.
That's what I'm saying. It's like you take the finest cake and put the best fucking like Bavarian icing on it. It would just be so great.
You give Sam 2 4 Locos, and you might as well be in a room with Aristotle.
And that's assuming he hasn't already had 2 4 Locos.
Or Socrates, any of the greats. That's Sam on 4 Loko.
Philosophizer.
He really is.
He's a maverick, and he's a man of very interesting views.
He makes Noam Chomsky look like an idiot. I'll say that. When he's on Loco, Noam Chomsky, idiot.
Yeah. He's no Shia LaBeouf.
No, he's not. Well, no, who is though?
Shia LaBeouf's actually already been
everybody apparently.
Yeah, Shia LaBeouf's been listening to our podcast, Booze Buddies, and stealing Sam's thoughts.
Hey man, I was gonna have him on the show, but he's not famous anymore.
That's right.
That's what
Who, Shia LaBeouf?
Yeah, that's what he tweeted. He said, "I'm not famous anymore." I was like, "Well, dude, I was going to invite you to the podcast."
I don't think you can decide that, can you?
Yeah. Well, you know how I think we can get him on is if we skywrite him an invitation.
Right.
Well,
I saw the video on TMZ where some guy was like talking trash to his girlfriend and he headbutted the guy. Did you see that?
It was the pussiest headbutt of all time.
I would love to be in a chance in life, like just one time to find. Yeah, it was more of like it actually looked almost like a slow kiss in a movie.
No, it looked like that's kind of what. And then he just go, "What'd you say, bro?
Yeah.
What'd you say?"
I would love to be.
Richard Sherman would beat his ass.
No doubt, dude.
Right there.
Shia LaBeouf would just die if he even looked at Richard Sherman. Like he'd just pass out. Like he'd be so scared. I would love to get a chance to like have some like little scrub celeb like him or Bieber like headbutt me and just get to lay them out for TMZ. You know what I mean?
Oh,
just
yeah.
become like a new Kimbo Slice. Like I've already got a little beard. Like, hey, who do you fight? Little white celebrities that are assholes. Only ones that are way smaller than me.
Oh, what a failed experiment that was, old Kimbo.
Loved him. Loved him.
Just getting his ass beat all the time.
Hey, he won a fight in the UFC.
On the ring.
From the streets to the octagon, that's all right. That's not bad. He made it. Like, what else was he going to do? Like, let's be real. Like, what was, like, that's his trajectory, and you're like, it was not great, but it was fine. Like, what are the other trajectories of Kimbo's life? I'm assuming much less.
What is he doing now? Where's Kimbo at now?
I think he hangs out with Shia LaBeouf. That's all they do. Like when that TMZ video ended, he just went, Kimbo? And Kimbo went in and just knocked that dude out. Like, I think that's what
he put that tweet out. Shia was like, "I'm not famous anymore." Kimbo was like, "Me neither, bro." And then they
let's be friends.
they hung out.
Now they're bronies.
Bronies. Good one. All right. I want to get to a really pressing issue, if I may.
Well, hurry up then.
Did you guys hear about the nun that popped out a baby?
Wait, what?
You didn't hear about this?
Where was this?
Vatican
City.
Europe.
Okay.
The greatest country in the world, Europe.
Wait, so she's a nun?
So here's what happened. She had stomach pains one day. She's like, "Oh, my stomach hurts." That's how nuns talk in Europe.
Yeah.
And they took her to the hospital, and she had a baby.
Yeah.
And she's like, "I didn't know I was pregnant."
Was this a sequel to Sister Act, or?
Yes. Lauryn Hill showed up and started singing. But first of all...
Is this kind of like a priest who woke up with a dick in his mouth?
Yeah.
It's like,
Is that a thing?
I didn't know I sucked dicks.
probably.
I didn't even know I liked sucking dick.
Vatican City is now the #2 spring break destination.
Nuns fucking everybody. It's great.
So wait, but she did fuck someone? She admitted?
No, well, no. She said I don't know. She might have. She said she didn't know she was pregnant. Okay. Problem number one, obviously, nuns aren't supposed to get pregnant because they're not supposed to be getting the D and the V.
How old is this? Nuns are old though, right?
But not
The
all.
plumbing still worked? That's impressive.
Yeah, you don't. I mean, nuns can be young.
If I was banging a nun, the last thing I would think is, I better have a condom so I don't get her pregnant. Like, I mean, is that weird? Am I the only one? No. You have to have these plans in your mind so you don't get caught.
Well, there has to be some sort of nun fetish, right? It's,
Sure, why not?
The unattainable.
Would you bang a nun? I would.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Bragging rights.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you've kind of ruined her life, but that doesn't...
Who cares?
She has Jesus.
Right. Yeah.
She has Jesus. She'll repent.
Confession,
She'll confess.
we're good.
Yeah.
That's what it's for.
But I don't, like, this is not the first time I've heard that a girl just, like, has a baby that didn't know she was pregnant for 9 fucking months.
I actually
There's
saw...
no way
There's a whole
that's
show
real.
on TV that I watched with my wife that was just about people who are like, yeah, I didn't know I was pregnant. Oops, a baby came out.
No way that's real. No way. No way you have a kid.
You've never met, like,
inside
just
of your
such
body.
stupid people that you can't fathom?
Yeah. I mean, I've met
I don't know, like, some
I've met
nights...
the most retarded people of all the retards. and I've never...
And we assembled them here for our podcast.
I've never looked at a girl and been like, I bet she's so dumb she wouldn't even know she's pregnant. There's no...
I know a lot.
You can't grow a human inside of your body and just not know about it for 9 months.
Is that a challenge?
Yes. Pacers in 5. You can't grow a person in your body.
I gotta find a way.
Even
Science, help me now.
Schwarzenegger knew he was pregnant in Junior.
Right, that's true.
The whole time. Which, by the way...
But he had abs, though. Like, see, I don't have abs. So, like, he had abs, and all of a sudden he's like, whoa, where's my abs? And then he's like, and why are they kicking me? You know what I mean? Like, I think I could... But, like, you've never come home, like, really drunk and ate and, like, $20 at Taco Bell, and then the next morning you're just like, oh... Like, and that just happens for 9 months, and you're like, maybe I'm food poisoned. Like, maybe I'm sick.
I'm thinking about suing Taco Bell.
I might have a case here. This is ridiculous.
Your goddamn Doritos Locos popped a fucking kid out. No,
Yeah.
like that's not acceptable. That's not believable.
Well, how?
What do you think, Heath?
I've never been pregnant. I don't know.
No,
It could
but do you
Did she
think, like,
have
do you
sex,
believe
though?
a girl that says she didn't know she was pregnant?
I would believe a nun.
No, not a nun who has sex.
What?
She's clearly not
Did
honest. She took a vow.
It's called spreading the good word, dude.
Well, yeah, I'm not mad at her for having sex, but to say that you believe a nun who said that,
Maybe Jesus gave her the baby.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Is that the angle she's going for?
that's I know.
Immaculate conception?
I kept looking for it in the articles, couldn't find it, and
It's one of those media
Yeah.
ploys like Helen Keller.
yeah,
I knew it.
yeah.
But wait,
I
that's a
knew
good
it.
question. Like, where does a nun
Wait,
socially
wait.
meet a guy who's like, what up? Let's one night
Wait.
stand.
I'm gonna
You think she'd only be around like more like morally upstanding guys that wouldn't just like hit it and quit it?
Can I?
Excuse me, we're talking about the Catholic Church.
I want to
Well, I
rewind.
know she's not a little boy.
I want to.
She's a lady and she gets to be respected.
She got. I want to rewind for just a second
Yeah.
because I want to make sure I didn't miss what Griffey said. Did you say that Helen Keller was a media ploy?
You guys don't know this?
Please,
You guys buy
explain.
into Helen Keller? Are you out of your minds?
What is this?
This is something that I think me and Sam have discussed ad nauseum, and I agree completely. Yeah, Helen Keller is a fraud, dude. You guys didn't know that?
Yes, tell me
She
more.
was one of the original like traveling vaudevillian actors.
Is this like
that's
the moon
all.
landing?
No, listen. Okay, here's the thing, right?
I'm deaf and mute.
Exactly. I mean, we don't have any audio or video, but I'm sure if we did, we'd be like, bad acting,
vaudeville.
Razzie. But this
was a-
is what I'm saying, right? There's no way that a baby enters our world, right? Tabula rasa, right? The blank slate. She enters our world. She has no context for anything, right? Because this is the thing. When you're deaf, you have visual context with which to learn sign language, and like we can point to like microphone. I don't know that that's the actual sign language, but
It is.
You know
It
what
is.
I mean?
That's correct.
This is what I'm saying. So there's context, right? When you're blind, you have auditory cues and this and that, and then they can tell you what you're touching and give you a context. When you're blind and deaf, there's not any context to the entire world. Like, how does that work? Like, some lady just comes and, like, splashed water on her face, and all of a sudden she's like, I can talk now. Like, get out of here. There's no way. Like, and then she became learned and, like, made something of herself. I'm like, there's not a chance in hell that this woman just learned all this stuff and could communicate and talk and whatever and read Braille without any kind of context. Like, there's no way. It's literally impossible. Have you guys never run this through your old brain scans here? Like,
So has there ever been another Helen Keller type of person that has ever
a
existed?
liar and a fraud? I'm sure all the time. Just none is one, right?
Has there ever been someone else that has been deaf, dumb, and blind that has not necessarily even
You know what
achieved the
that
same
actually
heights?
looks like? It looks like The Hills Have Eyes. Have you ever seen that movie? That's what those people actually end up as. Like, I mean, I'm not like hating on them. Like, I'm sorry for their
I think you
affliction.
are.
But you know where I do is like you take your affliction, you bamboozle someone over an affliction.
And you're wearing an affliction T-shirt.
Yeah, exactly. It'd
what
be the
you
same
do.
thing as me setting up a cancer charity and just being like, cancer. Like, you bamboozle people on their goodwill and sympathies, and you're just a liar. There's no way that is true. I think.
she make money?
What's her name? What's her name? The miracle worker.
Right.
The miracle worker, I think, was an unsuccessful playwright, and she concocted this scheme. Preyed upon the sympathies of this poor thing, and then, the baby was just in on it the whole time. I don't buy it at all.
It's like Helen Keller became an adult and then
It's
became a teacher.
documented. When did this happen? Like, back before they had real documentations? Like, anyone could write shit on a paper back then.
Like I've always said, if it happened before
The Bible was documented too, bro. Do you believe a guy lived inside a whale? Like, come on.
if it happened before the internet, I don't believe it.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
There's no verification. I can't go to Google. I can read about it on Google, but it
This
didn't
is what's
happen.
got to happen. Like, I'm a maverick, and when and everyone's going to laugh at me and be like, what a
John
fool.
McCain, everyone.
Yeah, I'm the John McCain and Richard Sherman of Helen Keller
He's
deniers.
the greatest maverick.
But this is the thing. When we develop time travel, it will be my first stop. Because I'm going to do the old, try to trick her and shit. And, I know I'll catch her. And I'll be like, Helen, you fucking bitch. Like, how dare you?
Is it going to be like that Brady Bunch episode where you drop the book and the guy
Yeah.
has the neck
Whips
brace
around
on?
with the neck brace. Yeah, exactly. But I'm going to catch her on, many planes of, sensory deprivation challenges.
Helen, you bitch.
Yeah, there's no...
You bitch.
And even if she... Well, I mean, come on. She's a fraud. even that said, like, good on her, I guess. Like, she made something out of herself in a time when that was not easy for a woman to do. So on that level, fine.
Would
but
you
at the
try
end of
to
the day,
bang her?
absolutely. Absolutely. But then I'd do stuff like I'd move my head to the side or like drop my dong near her face to see if she like did that. You know what I mean?
Well, you don't have to worry about.
Like, gotcha.
You don't have to worry about her calling you the next day.
That's the test.
What?
You don't have to worry about her calling you the next day. So.
She doesn't have to worry about me calling either.
What if she did though?
Because then they'd be like, she'd be like, I don't even know how she would have talked. Like, did you call? And I'd just throw water on her face, and she'd be like, you did.
Bring a couple iPhones and FaceTime her, bro. But
she wouldn't know.
I think that's the test. You take your dick and you put it about an inch away from her face. Any normal person swats that dick. But
see, this is not
tries
true.
To suck it.
Because first off, that would be a perfect storm of inaccurate scientific experimentation, right? Because first off, I secrete the most powerful hormones. So she would instantly be... She still had smell.
Sure.
So my amazing scent and musk mixed with her smell, she would be... she would not be able to...
Is that a dick in my face?
Yeah, she wouldn't be able to defend herself. She'd be gobbling before she even knew what had happened. And then I would have just perpetrated bad science, which I'm not a fan of.
Oh, is that a dick? Oh, isn't that a dick? No.
Right.
That's horrible.
You have to splash water on it.
Yeah.
I think that's it. Maybe it's the water with which she communicated. I don't know. But come on, guys. I'm not buying it. Everyone hit the internet. Do your research. There's no way.
Do your research.
There's no way.
Hey, I'm fine with that.
Fair enough.
I want to get to one more thing here before we go. Josh has started writing a book that I'm quite fond of. And
I've started writing many.
I think Heath is too. he has started writing many. The book I'm referring to is coincidentally is our only sponsor for this show.
Yeah,
so far,
right.
It's a free sponsor.
Soon the Catholic
anyway,
Church.
The essence of the book is Josh has found a way to judge movies and decide which ones are perfect and which ones are not.
Yes, the perfect movie theorem.
The list is
that the title of the book?
No, it's the science that the book delves into and dissects.
Do you have a title yet?
I'm working on it. I mean, the perfect movie theorem deserves a perfect title, which I have not yet stumbled upon.
So, like, why Highlander is the perfect movie of all time and other ridiculous...
They're not... This is the thing.
Four
theories.
Right now.
Oh.
4.
5, I think.
5?
I
think
think
fifth.
5 have worked through the criteria.
Lay them on me.
It's not that the movies are the perfect movie. It's that they are amongst the company of perfect films, right?
I see.
Okay.
So Highlander
is
Christopher
one.
Lambert's Highlander is the newest addition to perfect films.
Okay.
It's gone through rigorous grading. Passed all the test and gauntlet unscathed, and it is a perfect film.
100%.
What else is on there? Men in Black.
Okay.
The original, not the sequels.
Absolutely.
Very flawed and perfect films.
Perfect.
Ernest Scared Stupid. I don't know why you're laughing. You should be adding these to your Netflix queue.
I should.
And Beethoven. I think I do have 4. I have but 4. But the theory is based on Citizen Kane. So I guess you could say, although Citizen Kane is yet to be graded.
Oh, so it is not within...
But the theory is based on that movie. So I'm assuming it would pass
So
my grading.
let me get this straight. Ernest Scared Stupid, Beethoven, Highlander. What's the other one?
Ernest Scared
Men in
Stupid.
Black.
Men in Black.
Yeah, the original.
Citizen Kane.
Not the sequels. Yes.
Why not Ernest Goes to Camp?
Very flawed film. Very flawed film. I'm just saying, what? Have you ever used lobsters in a booby trap? It would never work. I'm just saying.
So what? When you watch Ernest Scared Stupid, and it just jumps,
when I'm lucky
jumps off.
When
the
I'm
screen
lucky
at
enough
you.
to be watching Ernest Scared Stupid. We don't all have enough time. We have jobs.
Absolutely.
We're adults now. We have things to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like when you fully embrace and you are swept into the stream of knowledge that is perfect movie theorem, Ernest Scared Stupid perfectly begins to illuminate all the criteria, and you all of a sudden realize that you were part of a magical experience, that you're lucky enough to partake of one of the perfect films ever made.
Sure.
And there could be a lot more there. I'm constantly digging like Jafar and Aladdin in just the desert of film, trying to find these hidden treasures.
I'd be perfectly fine with a theatrical re-release of Ernest Scared Stupid.
Wouldn't we all?
Where it's 3D and interactive.
Nope, that would make it not perfect
No, but they
anymore.
dump the Miak on you. Like in the crowd, like when that scene happens.
See, this is the thing, Nick. Guys like you, you're always taking perfect, and you're trying to cheapen it. bring it down to a level where it's just with everything else. Ernest belongs on the pedestal high above these other
I can't
fucking
think of
films.
anything more perfect than when one of those trolls, like Tasmanian devils, right? Like that little wooden ornament.
Yeah,
That's
actually,
perfect.
No, the trolls turn into like little piles of goop, remember? And they make like little
of
fart
course.
sounds, and Ernest's like, ugh. He does the Ernest face, which only Ernest can do. Jim Carrey's been stealing his bit for years, man. Jim Varney was the best.
When does he dress up like the woman? Does he do that in every movie? Is that in Ernest Scared Stupid?
Oh, where he does like the old lady character?
Yeah, he does like... he's the original Eddie Murphy, too.
It is actually in Ernest Scared Stupid. She joins the epic battle at the tree at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Because she hits a troll with her purse or something like that. I remember that
epic
scene.
battle.
Yeah.
He is like the original Tyler
But no, he
Perry,
also
the original...
yeah, he plays the old lady. He plays like a general. Like he does all these voices and characters during the tree battle, which Lord of the Rings totally cop. The Siege of Helm's Deep is essentially just a shot-for-shot replica of Ernest Scared Stupid.
Can we maybe
if I
trace
remember
all
right.
modern blockbusters back to Ernest Scared Stupid now? Is that
Yeah,
kind of
pretty
like-
much.
Is that fair?
I think every movie since it came out, and that's really one of the ways that you judge a classic, right? Is its impact on its peers. And Ernest Scared Stupid might be the most influential movie since the day it came out. It's definitely the Richard Sherman of troll-based comedies.
What I'm getting at here, I'm
Yeah.
on Netflix last night. I'm trying to figure out what I want to watch.
Yep.
Netflix recommends, based on my tastes and my likes, Netflix recommends Good Burger.
Good Burger, huh?
Straight up, just like it had. I think it had Pulp Fiction, No Country for Old Men, Good Burger, as 3 movies that I might enjoy.
Well, I would rather watch Good Burger than Old Country or No Country for Old Men.
Well, that's stupid. That's stupid. First off, and you're stupid.
Is it?
I'm going to call you stupid from now on.
It's fine. Might as well just call me right, because that's what the book's going to
Top of your head, you got a gun to your head right now. You got to make a snap decision. Good Burger, is it perfect?
No, not perfect.
Didn't even think about it.
Didn't even think about it.
I've seen Good Burger, and I know that it's not perfect.
Is it even good?
It's pretty good.
It's not bad.
I've watched.
It's not bad. As a child, I somewhat enjoyed it.
Who's the old man? Abe.
Bagoda?
Abe Bagoda.
Abe Bagoda's in? I've never
Oh
seen
yeah,
it.
Abe Bagoda. Abe
When
Bagoda
I was,
is like.
when I was a kid, the show All That was like my SNL. Like
was
we
all
all
that.
loved that kid, right? So when that movie came out, I was already primed. I was in the audience. I remember
I
enjoying.
thought we
the
were
movie.
older. How?
It was a little. We were a little older when it came out, but All That was when I was a
Abe
young
Bagoda
boy.
for a split second was almost Christopher Walken with like that ironic fame that he's got. Yeah, just like Bagoda just came like 3 years too early before the internet was like fully aware of how awesome it was.
Right.
And then now Walken is just like he's just like this legend. I mean, Walken was a great actor.
Hold on, are
before
you saying
that.
Abe Bagoda is not a legend?
No, I'm not saying Abe Bagoda is not a legend.
I'll say
I'm
it.
just saying
He's
we'd
not a fucking
we'd
legend.
be seeing Abe Bagoda.
How is he a legend?
If Abe Bagoda does Good Burger 3 years later than he did, we're looking at memes of Abe Bagoda right now.
Hey, let's
there-
ask
there are memes
let's
of
ask
Abe Bagoda.
20 random people on the street. Name me 2 Abe Bagoda movies. Not a chance.
I
Godfather
can't.
one
I
and
First off,
Godfather
they're gonna
two.
say what?
And Good Burger.
Good Burger.
Yeah, and Good Burger. That's
all you need.
I
What
saw
else do
that
you
guy
need?
in Good Burger.
Give Abe Bagoda this.
What's his indie flick, The Godfather?
He's
There's
been
no
in
way
at least
anyone-
2 perfect movies. Both Godfather movies are perfect. According to...
I disagree.
You disagree. You
Well,
don't think
yeah.
they're...
I think they're.
You know
I
what,
think they're
Heath?
amazing.
I'm not one to rush to judgment. Let me put him through grading,
Okay, all
and I'll
right.
get back to you.
Give it time.
They're not
You
on
need
the
more
list.
chapters
They're
still,
not on
so.
the list right now.
Do you have any movies right now that are, the jury's
In
out?
grading?
Yeah, in grading.
Harry and the Hendersons.
Oh God,
In grading.
amazing! I'm going to
grading.
go ahead and make the decision. Perfect.
Monster Squad is in grading.
Monster Squad is deserving of grading, yeah.
See? So those are the 2 I'm grading right now. Actually, Heath mentioned Apocalypse Now, so I might delve into Apocalypse
If
Now.
you get some time, would you mind watching Good Burger for me and just
I'll do it this week.
giving it a preliminary grade?
I'll do it this week. But I'm pretty sure I remember not a perfect film.
I want to see. I wonder if there's a DVD with commentary on it for Good Burger. Just like
Wouldn't that be sad?
I'd love to hear
Wouldn't that just
the
be sad?
director's take.
I'll bet you it's just 2 hours of this. You just hear chain smoking sounds, and he's like, guys, they were going to take my apartment away. I had an eviction notice. I needed a job, right? Come on. And every shot, he's just going, oh. Like he's just like miserable for 2 hours.
Like, so how'd you get it made? Well, everything was going downhill until we signed on Abe Vigoda.
Right.
And then we had to fight off
Do
studios.
you think every day is like,
make
Abe, I got other scripts, man. Let's talk, please. No, but this is what I'm saying, Nick. You love to laugh and josh around. You're not a man who likes to dig into knowledge and science. But when Perfect Movie Theory, the book, comes out, I will sign it for you, and I will give you a Cliff Notes as well. We'll walk you through it, and it's going to change your life. It's going to be the best thing that maybe ever happened to you.
Will there be a breakdown of the criteria for the perfect movie theorem within the book, or is it just simply the analysis of each movie?
Well, I will have an introductory chapter explaining how I came up with said theory, and that'll be it. I can't give you every nut and bolt, because then there'll just be all these copycat books stealing all my money and my fame. But I will give enough to where people will understand that I am correct 100%.
Snap decision, quick grade, Malibu's Most Wanted.
Imperfect.
Imperfect.
Terrible. Almost the exact opposite. Like,
Scary
if a
Movie
perfect
1.
movie is Jesus Christ, like, Malibu's Most Wanted is definitely the Antichrist. Like, one of the most offensively terrible films I've ever seen.
Offensively?
Yeah. Like, if any set deserved, like, the Exorcist curse, where, like, everyone had a terrible rest of their lives, like, Malibu's Most Wanted should be on that list.
Scary Movie 1.
Good, not perfect.
We could do this all day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has to go through the grading.
It does have to
can't
go through
just-
grading, but there are some films that right off the top of my head, I know that they don't fit some criteria.
You just know it.
Yeah, because I've seen them.
Like Beethoven 2.
Imperfect. I would love it if the Beethoven series had kept their high watermark and pushed the envelope more. But
what's his name? The guy he did Breakfast Club and
John Hughes.
Yeah, he wrote those, right?
That's probably why they're so awesome.
Yeah, I think he did it under the pen name Edmond Dantes.
Is that true?
Yeah, honest to God, from the Count of Monte Cristo.
See?
Yeah.
He was a great guy.
Yeah.
Made a great movie. Wrote one.
He did
great
Home
movie.
Alone. He wrote Home Alone, I think, the first one.
It was all right.
Dude, come on, that's a perfect movie. Grow up. I mean,
grow up and like Home Alone, the most childish movie of all time.
Back me up here.
Daniel Stern deserved
I
best
didn't
supporting.
say that I didn't like it. I'm saying, like, we're talking about, like, this is like an intellectual
Best Daniel
film
Stern
conversation.
movie. Best
Bushwhacked.
That would be Bushwhacked.
Bushwhacked.
That's where I'm
Bushwhacked.
going. Bushwhacked is amazing.
The best.
Although Born in East LA is pretty lit with him and Cheech. That's probably my favorite.
It's Bushwhacked, though.
Bushwhacked,
Maybe that should
clearly.
go
And
into grading.
Very bad things. Great Daniel Stern movie.
It's all right.
One of the most underappreciated actors.
Take a look at Bushwhacked. Yeah.
I want to do Bushwhacked, and remember Heavyweights?
Oh yeah.
That one should go into
With Ben
grading.
Stiller, right?
I think it's one of the finest children movies I've ever
See,
seen.
I'm not a big Heavyweights fan. I think it's stupid.
Well, let's let the grading decide.
Well,
Nick.
What
I
about-
take emotion out of it and only use intellect.
All right,
Clearly.
just quick. Doesn't have to be perfect. Mighty Ducks 1, 2, or 3. Which is the
Mighty Ducks
greatest?
1 is infinitely better than any of the other movies.
Okay.
You're talking about like the Rocky effect, right? Where
Right.
everyone loves Rocky 4 so much more than all the other
Exactly.
Rockies.
Rocky
Even
IV?
though Rocky 1
Oh,
might
yeah.
be... Rocky 1 is the better movie, and
Rocky
it
IV
was
is the worst
acclaimed.
one.
But Rocky 4 is the one that everyone talks about and everyone
Correct.
remembers.
Yeah,
it's the
you have
iconic one.
Ivan Drago. It was
Right.
the Cold
it's the
War.
funniest one, but it's the worst.
I think to me it
film.
most encapsulates that era and like those movies.
Sure.
Like, I love Rocky 4. I think it's
Rocky
great.
4 is great.
But yeah, I think Mighty Ducks 1 does not follow that same trajectory.
I feel like Mighty Duck. You just have to take the third one. It's like the Ninja Turtles franchise, right? Take the third one out completely, but 1 is a solid, legitimate movie.
Yeah.
Right.
In both
Turtles 1
franchises
should be graded, by
But
the
2, probably entertainment factor for
this was
for
USA
kids.
Iceland, right?
Right? USA.
See, they stole the Rocky 4
They
mantra.
did.
Yeah.
USA Iceland.
Let's make it
and then
international.
And then the Ninja Turtles had, well, at least Vanilla Ice
Yeah.
for the sequel. So
And,
More movies should have that.
And the thing that really Turtles 1, the first Turtles movie, perfect. I'm just gonna make a snap judgment. Perfect.
close.
Has to be
But
graded.
Turtles 2, I still love that movie. But the thing that pissed me off
Much better than the
is that
first one, in my opinion.
really,
I love Turtles 2 much more.
But they paraded out like that fake Bebop and Rocksteady and just gave them
Tonka and Razor.
and they
Yeah.
they were just these two characters that I'd never heard of.
You're like, I need more emotional
all I
attachment
did
depth
was-
out of my
yeah,
giant
all I did when I was a
critters.
kid was watch Ninja Turtles. So like I was
Didn't we
very
all?
well versed on this world, and I was like, they showed the previews. I was like, oh, awesome, Bebop and Rocksteady are in this.
And Super Shredder, played by pro wrestler Kevin Nash.
Yeah,
What?
and
so
then
Wait. So Bebop and Rocksteady, I'm trying to remember what they were. Like what
They were-
did they
I don't know,
mutate
they were
from?
just like
Warthog and Rhinoceros.
Yeah.
Warthog. So what was Tonka and
They were just weird.
Wolf and Snapping Turtle.
Yeah.
Snapping Turtle? So wait, where was the screenwriter?
Like-
I don't know. What-
Did they lose the rights to Bebop? Like they kept the entire world intact, and some guys like, I thought of Bebop and Rocksteady.
Well,
first."
Either that, or he was like, oh,
Hey
this is
pal,
just
those are my
impossible.
characters, pal.
Yeah, they look like bad extras from like Back to the Future too. Like who cared, man?
But
Like,
it was so disappointing, though.
nah.
But the dance scene, the scene in the club with Vanilla Ice, where he's doing that just fucking awesome dance.
maybe the high water
Go
mark
Ninja.
of white
Yeah.
dancing.
And
ever.
then at the end, Shredder like because it all collapses on him, the pier, and then he just punches his hand up there. And I was like, oh yeah, it's gonna be another one.
Number two just kicked it up a
Did
notch.
you guys ever see the concert? The Turtles in
I
concert?
did when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I had the VH. I still might have the VHS of that somewhere.
Now my parents were assholes, so tell me about it.
Well, nothing you can do there.
I grew up poor, Heath. I started from the bottom. Now I'm here.
Come a long way.
Yeah. Started on Degrassi. Now we're here.
Yep.
Child stars.
Yep.
Any last thoughts? Anything that you guys want to get off your chest before we get out of here?
I feel like it went well. I feel like I brought a lot of good knowledge to people.
Well,
I feel like I'm going to break Google today.
I
Like
think-
people are going to listen to all the shit I said and be Googling like
I think
mad.
you're stupid, Griffey.
Don't get upset if people are talking about you after this.
I won't.
All right. Well,
I'm like Richard Sherman. I'm the number one that admires the talking.
shut up. Shut your mouth. Thanks for tuning in to the Nick Hall Comedy Podcast. I'm Nick Hall, and this is Heath Benfield, and who gives a shit about this guy over here, Josh Griffey. Say goodbye, everybody.
Helen Keller, I'm coming for you.
Helen.
Goodbye.